Severance Season 2, Episode 6 is called Attila, and all I can think about is Attila the Hun. And we'll get to that in a bit as to what I think that could mean. But this latest episode, of course, is showing us that Mark, the Audi Mark, is very close to getting reintegrated with any Mark. And at the end of Season 2, Episode 5, we saw that Mark finally was able to see into the severed floor and see Gemma, Miss Casey, right there, right in front of him. So this next episode is going to be the 6th episode. There's 10 episodes total, so I think things are really going to start like going at 100 miles per hour. Episode 4 indeed was one of the most shocking episodes all season, and number 5 was kind of a fallout of sorts that we saw because of that and what came beforehand. But I think episode 5 did set up this finale that is just going to be pure insanity. So we'll go through some theories and some thoughts about what's coming, and like I said, we cover the episodes weekly, so you definitely want to stick around on Thursday when we cover the episode that's going to be coming out and all our thoughts and theories about that, and other shows as well that we do cover, like Yellow Jackets and The White Lotus. Stay tuned for that. But let's get into some theories and some things that we need answered. Of course, let's start off with one of them being that Dylan now kind of has a way of finding where the exports hall may be, and that elevator that Miss Casey took, the one that Irving was kind of like obsessed with, right? He was always painting it and all of that, and his Audi has a sort of like attachment to it. We still don't know why. In the post like show like wrap up that they do, the people behind Severance said that that's going to be something that's going to be unraveling pretty soon as to why Irv is so like fixated on this elevator and all of that. And speaking of Irv, let's talk about that dinner with Bert that's about to come up. Let's finish off with Dylan first. So of course Dylan is sort of on a thin line, right? Because as Mr. Milchick says to Dylan, you kind of want something from us, which is bringing your Audi's wife in here to speak with you. And we talked about it before that the Audi wife is sort of developing some feelings for any Dylan, right? Any Dylan is a little bit more easy to talk to. He's not always on edge like the Audi Dylan is that we've seen, who is a little bit more, I would say, neurotic of sorts compared to his Any. And I think that the wife is sort of feeling an attachment as well as any Dylan is to her. So I think that's going to be very confusing, right? Later down the road. But now Dylan feels some sort of, I would say, like purpose, that this is what Irv left for him, to find where the experts hall is and to find that elevator. So I feel like in this next episode, we might start seeing Dylan start to navigate the severed floor to see where this may be. And I think he's going to do it on his own. It doesn't look like him and Helly and also Mark are having the best relationship right now. So it definitely feels like they might definitely be putting their friendship a little bit to a break for now. And I think they're all going to do their own thing. Helly, of course, and Mark are kind of like on the edge as well, because Mark feels like he can't trust anyone after what happened with Helena coming into the severed floor and them having that relationship and then finding out it wasn't really Helly. So I feel like he's still a little bit on edge about all of this, which it makes sense, right? He was lied to. He feels that he doesn't know what the truth is anymore. He can't trust no one to find Miss Casey. But it seems that by the end of this episode, they might find their way back. In some of the trailers that we've seen that Mark is eating at a Chinese restaurant and seems to be eating a lot and quick. So many people are theorizing that this could be because of the whole reintegration process and everything taking a toll on him as well. And I feel like we are definitely going to get Helena maybe trying to contact Audi Mark in some capacity or look into what he's doing. We did already hear that they might be sort of getting spied on. They don't know, Ragaby and Mark, for what they're doing. But I think that in this next episode, we might finally see them crack the code and integrate both Marks in order for them to really find out what's going on. What we saw in season 2, episode 5 at the end when he saw Gemma was just like them beginning to fully get into that. So I think in this next episode, we might finally see it happen, and we might see Audi Mark really start to find out what's going down here on the severed floor. I think we'll also see Milchick come here with a heavier hand and might finally crack. And I think that's why the name of the episode is called Attila, because we might see Milchick really try to run this in a sort of dictatorship, and where he really isn't letting the innies sort of be free or express themselves that he has for the most part, especially because Lumon is really trying to like have a heavier hand on Milchick himself and say like, you know what, you've done some good, but you've also done some bad. We need Mark to finish Cold Harbor already. He's at 85%, I believe, by the time we finished episode 5, so we're pretty close to seeing Cold Harbor finish. I don't think Cold Harbor will be finished till the season finale, and I don't think we'll find out what it really does until season 3. That's just my theory, my opinion on that. But I do think we will start to sort of piece together why Cold Harbor is important to Lumon, but I think the full explanation won't come until the next season. Now, the biggest thing here as well that I'm curious about is Irv and Bert's dinner with Bert's husband. I think that them things are going to really start to be unraveled here. I, for some reason, just can't trust Outie Bert. I feel like Outie Bert might not be as trustworthy. I just don't see it. I feel like there's something hidden here that he knows about Lumon, and Lumon might be using him to sort of keep tabs on Irv. There's no way they just let Outie Irv and be free and whatever after everything that happened with his innie, right? Outie Irv is sort of like in tune with the severed floor because he does these paintings and all of that, and I'm pretty sure that Lumon is aware of that as well, and that could be a big thing going on here. Maybe Bert is sort of being pushed by Lumon to keep an eye on Irv and relay information, right? And so the final thing I think we have to discuss here, of course, is going to be, will we finally know what happened to Gemma? A lot of people theorize that in this next episode we might finally get that background information. As we know in season 2 episode 5, Outie Mark was told that that's probably not Emma's body that he got in the cremation. It was probably somebody else because they have connections to the morgues and all of that. So I think we might finally learn the truth about Gemma, what happened, where did she go, why was she taken, things like that. I still think we're a little bit off from knowing what Cold Harbor really is and what its true intention will be. So I think we're going to have to wait off a bit on that. But I think in this next episode, we will probably finally see Mark be reintegrated with the innie Mark. We will probably see Helena be more of a spy or trying to get a hold of Outie Mark. I think Dylan will start his venture into the experts hall to try and figure out what exactly Herb was trying to sort of communicate with these paintings of the elevator and where Miss Casey went at the end of the previous season. I think Milchick might finally crack and might finally start to sort of be outs. I think we saw it as well with Miss Huang, who was trying to sort of get under Milchick's skin at points in the previous episode. Could be a whole thing that Lumon is trying to do to get him out of here. We do need some more information about her, and we're probably going to get that as we've seen in the teasers and the trailers before. I think we might see her come back to the severed floor before the end of the season as well. Irv and Bert's dinner, I just don't think that's going to go as planned. And like I said, the name of Attila, I think that somebody here is going to be running it like they are this dictator, and I think that that's going to be Milchick, and he might definitely fall into a thing where he just gets completely out, and we could see him flip. I don't know. We'll see. Let me know what you think is going to happen in Severance season 2 episode 6. We will be covering it tomorrow after the episode airs, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, notification bell. We're on the road to 40,000 subscribers. We're about to hit 38,000. Super excited about that. But for all things you love on TV and movies and all of that, keep it tuned in here. We'll talk more stuff, and you don't want to miss out on it.